G'day guys, today we're going to do a little bit of a benchmark of some PCI video cards, basically to see what works fast in DOS. For you guys that want to put together a DOS machine, Pentium, late 486, something with PCI, maybe Pentium 2, but you don't need 3D because you just want to play DOS games, but you want to get the best out of your DOS games. So what we've got is we have a collection of PCI cards. We've got a couple of Tridents. They're 9440s. They'll test about the same, I reckon. They're an identical card. I can't see them doing anything different. We've got some Cirrus Logics. Again, pretty common cards. A GD-5446 and a GD-5430 with 1 meg. We've got 2 meg on the 5446. We've also got this SIS 6326, and that's normally an AGP chip, but interestingly here this is fitted up to a PCI card. This comes from about 2001, 2001 this card. It's an 8 meg card. It should be rather interesting to see how that performs, being a fairly late chip, although it is SIS, so you know, could be a bit like the Tridents, might be a little slow. And also we're just going to throw in this GeForce 2 MX400 because we happen to have that as a PCI as well, and hey, we'll just see how that goes. I had some other ones that I wanted to include in the test, like a Voodoo Banshee. Now I've put the heatsink off it. I did have the heatsink back on when I was trying it. This won't work in the machine that I've got. I'm not sure whether the card's faulty. I haven't tried it in another machine yet. Also was going to try this this Diamond Stealth 64 as well, but again can't seem to get that to wake up. And also had a this is a bit banged up, this one, this Rage 128, I think that is. Oops, the camera will focus on it. There we go. Yeah, Rage 128. Again, can't seem to get that fired up in the test machine. Now the test machine, we're also going to we've also got a in there at the moment is a Singlabs ET6000, which we'll also be including in our test. Now the test machine, this is a it's one of the last boards that you could run Windows 98 on with official driver support. This is an Asus P5PE-VM. Sitting in there we have a Core 2 Duo 3.06 gigahertz CPU with 3 megabytes of cache. So we've basically removed any possibilities of a CPU bottleneck slowing anything down. My test system, this is my well-weathered TPG case, for those who remember TPG. That should bring back some memories. Total Peripherals Group. Did plenty of their systems back in the day. But anyway, enough of me rabbiting on. We're going to be using Phil's benchmarking kit here, yeah, we'll get stuck into it in a second. All right, to get rid of the camera flash over there, we can see the screen a little bit better. Kicking it off, we have, as I said, we got the ET6000 in there. That's a 4 meg card. 512 meg of system memory, obviously some mechanical hard drives, nothing special, the system. Later on we'll be doing some Windows 98 stuff in another video too, where we'll see how these things go in direct draw in Windows 98 for performance. But let's kick it off with the benchmarks here. Let's go with I need to need to clear my keyboard off, can't get to the keys. Alright, let's kick it off with some benchmarks. Hopefully this won't take too long. 614.5 FPS for that one. Next we will be doing number 3, which is Chris's 3D benchmark, the normal one. Geez, that screen's dirty, I need to clean that. Oh, that was a bit quick. What's that? 1036.5. Okay, that was pretty quick. before. We've probably started with one of the faster cards. Let's see how it goes at 640 by 480. Oh yeah, that's a fair bit slower, isn't it? 124.2. PC player. Standard resolution first. That is actually flickering on the actual CRT. This frame rate must be a little bit high. There we go. A couple of jitters as well. This usually happens when this benchmark gets a stupidly high frame rate. 820.9 FPS. Yeah, that's pretty good. 640 to 480 test for that one. What do we got there? 53 exactly. Doom with high detail. Yeah, I think this card will be pretty good for Doom. And have no problems at all. What have we got? 31, 34 tick Ds and 551 real ticks. I'll have to calculate that in a little bit with the calculator. Quake. 524.6. I'm just out of curiosity, what is I haven't included 640 or 480 Quake results in the benchmark comparisons because most of the cards can't do the 640 by 480, but for those couple of cards that can, we'll just put them in the video because it's really not much point. There's only going to be about 2, maybe 3 of these cards. Only half, not even half of them are going to be able to do this, just due to lack of video memory, because most of them are 1 meg cards. But we'll just do this just to be complete. Plus, I'm curious. It's at 35.4. Ain't not bad. 640 by 480. And we'll just get our video memory speed. Because this is the other thing that I've been grabbing. And what have we got? 56906. Nice. All right, let's get that card out and get the next card in. All right, so it's our ET6000 done. Let's do the 2 meg Cirrus Logic here, the 5446, because these are actually a pretty good card in my opinion. A lot of people underrate these Cirrus Logic cards. I actually rate these pretty high. Wouldn't mind getting my hands on some of the last ones, the Laguna 3D chips, the 5460 series, so the 62 being the non-3D version, and the 64s which had 3D capacity. Would be very interesting to see what they perform like. Let's get our Cirrus ET6000 back out of the way. Hang on a second, I need 2 hands here. Missed it. I've got to bypass the config sys on boot, and I've missed it. Just got to spam the F5 key while I'm doing this. There we go. Let's have a go at number 2. Let's see how this compared to our ET6000. I'm not expecting this to be as fast, but I'm not expecting it to be too much slower either. 476.1. It's a little slower, but not bad. This is 3D bench. I don't think we're going to get the 1000 FPS that we got before, but 573. We're up to number 4. The 640 to 480 version. Yeah, it's a bit slower, isn't it? Only 6.4. Hey, that's still not bad. PC player. It's still doing the, it'll still be fairly fast, but we're still getting the glitches. $520. 640 to 480. At 212. It's actually pretty fast. Not bad at all. What do we need next? We need our Doom benchmark. Nope. Ooh, something gone wrong here. Yep, we've had a complete lockup. Some of these cards are pretty old, so I've had a few problems with just making sure that they're seated in the PCI slot. Plus we haven't got it, plus we haven't bolted it in or anything, so that's probably not helping. Hello. Yeah, we're not seated, so it's booted with the onboard video. That'll be our problem. The joys of old hardware. Really put some contact cleaner on the, oh, come on, get in there. Put some contact cleaner on it. See if this works. Come on, little green light on monitor. There we go. Spam the F5 key again, sorry guys. It's probably going to be nauseating. Where were we? We're doing Doom. Now we got our cards seated properly again. It's a little bit slower. The other one was 500 real, so yeah, 676 real ticks. It's a little bit slower, not much so. Have a look at our Quake, 405, and because this card I think can do 640 or 480, it's got 2 megs, so it should be able to. Let's try a 640 or 480 just out of curiosity. Yeah. No, I don't think that. No, that ran back at 320 by 240, so it didn't do it. Didn't think it would. Hence why we're not doing it on most of them. And our VGA memory speed. What have we got? 3455. No, not bad. Not bad for an old Cirrus Logic. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details of benchmarking all of these cards. I shall go and do that off screen, and then we shall come back and look at some graphs. All right, guys, we're back. I said have some graphs. Some interesting findings. Very interesting. No surprise that the Tridents and the GD-5430 are right down the bottom, and that the as we said, the ET6000 is going to be up this end here because it's pretty fast. Surprisingly though, this SIS, this thing, AGP chip, see it says it right there on the chip. Chip's designed for AGP, 8 meg video memory, made in 2001, completely obliterated by the much older Cirrus Logic, and not much better than the really old, actually probably, yeah, just a little bit better than the really old Cirrus Logic, the 5430. So SIS, performance of a GD-5430 or a Trident 9440. Surprising. Thought that might have done a little bit better, being that it was a late chip. But let's have a look at some of these numbers a little bit closer. So obviously our ET6000 and our NVIDIA GeForce MX400, GeForce 2 MX400 are clearly the leaders here, with 1000 FPS there, and 1000 FPS, 1350, 970 in PC Player. Interestingly, in 3D Bench, the Cirrus Logic was actually a little bit quicker than the NVIDIA. Found that rather interesting. For Doom, 135 frames, 131. So I mean, look, that's margin of error type stuff. 1%, something like that. With the ET6000 being a little bit quicker. PC Player benchmark at 640 by 480, 53, 55, again pretty close. Chris's 3D Bench, high resolution one, I think that is. Yep, that's a 640 by 480. That one there is 124. 124. They're both the same. So really, not much in it. ET6000, really good 2D PCI card. It's probably not going to be too much in terms of a 2D only card that will come close to that. GD-5446. As I said, these things are quite underrated. Quake 405, that's standard, 320 by 200 resolution. Doom 110 FPS, no problem. PC Player 212 FPS at 640 by 480. Now that is faster than both the ET6000 and the MX400. Ran it multiple times on all three cards just to confirm that it wasn't an oddity. No, it is actually faster at 640 by 480 in that test. Both of these cards can be made to go considerably faster if you enable right combining on the memory. That shoots the scores through the roof. But we're doing the test without enabling any software trickery like right combining and all that sort of stuff. We're just running them in just flat, straight boot up. So yeah, so interesting. 520, 971. So yeah, it's a little bit slower there. Look, and look, PC player bench. Here we go there. 476 on the GD-5446, 514 and 614 for the MX400 and the ET6000. So really not that far behind. GD-5446, really underrated card for what it is. 2 meg card, quite good. I imagine 1 meg it probably performs quite similarly because there's no right combining, because we haven't loaded any of that, so it won't be interleaving the memory banks or anything. So I'm assuming that it'll probably run about the same in 1 meg mode. I could pop the memory out and test it, might do that at a later stage just to confirm. GD-5430, again, you know, Quake 176 FPS, Doom 54 FPS, like, you know, Doom only runs at like 35, so I mean, it's fine. PC player 41 in the high res, 197 low res, 31 there, 178 there for Chris's 3D bench, 156. I mean, these look so low, these numbers, but that's just simply because the chart's skewed by these high numbers over here. If we knock these two out, we'd have a much better look at these ones here. The Tridents, yeah, about where I expected them to be. Surprisingly, the Trident a little bit faster than the 5430 in a couple of the tests. Mainly the low resolution 3D bench. For Chris's 3D benchmark, the Cirrus Logic was quicker. For PC player, it was quicker. In the low resolution test. In the high resolution test, the Trident was a little bit quicker. Doom, the Trident was a little bit quicker again. But Quake, the GD-5430 was a little bit quicker. So, you know, sort of strange that, you know, some tests one's a little bit faster than the other, but I mean, I'd put them all at about the same sort of performance level. 9440 is fairly late Trident chipset. A lot of the really early ones were slow as, but I mean, you know, not too bad. Just have a look at the memory bandwidth down here. If we scroll down to our memory bandwidth, it's in kilobits per second. We can see that the Tridents actually have a little bit more memory throughput than the 5430. The 5446, much better memory throughput. That SIS, plenty of memory throughput, but no real performance. I mean, look at no surprises here. You know, 56, roughly 56 megabytes. You know, it's 56,906 kilobytes per second throughput on the ET6000. The MX400, like, I mean, that's a, yeah, much newer chip. 97,025 kilobytes per second. I mean, I would have expected that from that. But yeah, just interesting that when you run the numbers, what you get, it's quite interesting. You know, I would have thought that that this SIS, this thing, would have done a lot better than it did. And I didn't really expect the ET6000, which is back in its normal home now, back in the 486 there, which we're doing all these graphs on, by the way. Would it have been as close as it was to this NVIDIA? I thought this NVIDIA should have, this GeForce 2 should have been miles faster. I just wish I had been able to get the Banshee and a couple of those other cards running just to include them in the benchmarks. But anyway, that's our DOS benchmarks for PCI cards. We're going to be doing it all again with a big pile of AGP cards here. We'll run these also in DOS, and we'll also run them in Windows. We're going to redo all these in Windows as well. Windows 98 2nd edition. We're going to do direct draw performance, check their direct draw performance. We'll also use some software rendered Quake to see how they go in software rendering. I've just got to get all the drivers together for them. We've got to find a driver for this SIS, and got to get some NVIDIA drivers for Windows 98 for this card, work out which is the best version. Look, I mean, the Trident and the Cirrus Logics, I reckon the drivers for those will be built into Windows 98 SE, but we'll have a look and just make sure that we're using the best possible driver. ET6000, have a Windows 98 driver for that. Performs about the same as the Windows driver that comes with it. So, but anyway, I'll be back again with another video soon, looking at the Windows performance. Hopefully you've got a bit of info out of this one, and yeah, chuck a comment and we'll discuss.